Good morning, this is Chris, and it's a special Mother's Day, May 13th, 2018, tour of my Bay State kitchen garden. Here we are through the gate, azaleas in bloom, tiger lilies looking amazing. They are going to be, I'm going to need to transplant some out because there's so many. Here's some seedlings I haven't planted yet. Check out these wood slat bins I made myself. Very proud of that with scraps that I got. They are cedar and should last a long time. There's the white lunaria in bloom. That self-seeds. It's a biennial. Blooms the second year. Let's take a look at some of the plantings. Tomatoes in here. I did have some remay over them, some cover for the cooler weather. And around each one, I've either seeded Swiss chard or some other small green or some annual flowers to keep them company. A little bit of digging there by the squirrels, but I still think some seeds are coming up okay. These are blueberries. They're going to go to our family house on the Cape. Potatoes in here. More potatoes behind. Onions back there. My buddleia just starting to show. It was cut back a lot by the frost, but it's going to come back beautifully. This is going to be romaine lettuce. Peas, several different kinds. Snuck another tomato in there. One of the pears, I'm making the branches become more lateral by weighing them down with clothespin. It's better than cutting them, less traumatic for the plant. Big planting of radishes I need to thin here in the cloth bed. More peas here. Let's pop over and look at some of the fruit trees. Actually, here I've got nut trees and one fruit tree. These are my two hazelnuts, leafing out beautifully. Very happy with those. Haven't caught any woodchucks this year. That's a good thing. I haven't seen any signs of any. The other hazelnut, they're going to cross-pollinate. Hopefully make some nuts in a couple of years. This is the earliest planting of potatoes. These were blue and they're growing wonderfully. Behind them, my mulberry tree. Illinois Everbearing. We're supposed to have some of the best mulberries. And I will share them with birds. I have no problem on that. Oh my goodness, this looks like it already has flowers on it. Let's take a peek. Definitely got some flowers. I just got to get down there and find, there we go. Yep, a couple of flowers on each one. If it's not going to be really heavy, I will go ahead and leave those on. If it looks like the weight is going to be traumatic, I will take it off. Big patch of blueberries here in the bed over the septic system. I was timely in cutting back the grasses, so there's plenty of room for the blueberries this year. The red bud, just finishing blooming. All right, we're heading out of the flower garden / orchard, back over into some of the perennial gardens. I've already done some trade this year with my rhubarb, which has been spectacular. I did fertilize it, and I've been dividing it so it doesn't get too crowded. It makes a big, big difference. This is just one patch of rhubarb. Look at these babies. Of course, when these flowers come up, I cut them off. You don't want them to take energy out of the making of the spectacular rhubarb stems in there. The other pear tree, also with some weights on it. Peach tree. Looks like I'm going to have a decent fruit set this year. I am not going to make the mistake I did last year. I've been taking a class. I'm definitely going to thin the fruit on that peach tree. Some winter rye here covered to kill it. I may put corn or some sort of squash in this bed. Haven't quite decided yet what's going to go into there. And more blueberries and more blueberries. Thinned these out this year and I'm really glad I did it. Tomatoes here with a little protection from the cool nights. More peas. My leeks. Oh, excuse me, this is not my leeks. This is my garlic. Leeks are over pretty small now. We won't go look at them. They're behind the peach tree. But the garlic is spectacular. Popping in the gate. A few peppers here, mostly Hungarian wax. These are strawberries I put in last year. Going to get a lot of berries off those. I'm going to have to cover them to keep the birds from taking them all. Self-sown bachelor's buttons. I bought a 6-pack of kale, one of the few things I didn't grow from seed. Got it under cover here to keep the cabbage worms off. A few more strawberries. Another bed covered to kill the winter rye. More peas. Radishes, arugula, and spinach. Starting to bolt. I'm going to need to pick some of that. Got lots more crops that will be going into these beds soon. More rhubarb. Raspberry patch looking good. Gave it a lot of love. Mulching, fertilizer, transplanted some plants that had escaped back into it. Quite good production on the purple asparagus this year. Planted potatoes here. Removed about half of my sunchokes. I'm just not eating them regularly, so I decided to make more room for some potatoes in here. Red, white, and blue in this same patch. So the green asparagus, nowhere near as productive as the purple. I may be pulling it out and putting more purple in. Another strawberry patch, sharing with more potatoes. These are some Sweet Williams, self-seeded, that I let settle down into this spot. I will move them all over the garden very shortly. Bought in a few more raspberries here, just starting to come up. Cilantro, self-seeded, happy to have that. More tiger lilies. So that's a tour of my Bay State kitchen garden on Mother's Day. Ooh, one more thing I gotta show you before we go. Over here, very excited about this. My persimmon tree. All right, we'll look at 2 more trees. Then I'm really done. This is a cherry tree. And finally, an apricot. Let's go take a peek at that. Oh, those are jostaberries. Did I mention those? Here's the apricot. It is leafing out. Okay, really, that's the tour of my Bay State kitchen garden. It's May 13th, 2018, and I'm Chris. Thanks.